Opportunities in protein products and electronics. Aggressive growth opportunities yet. Boy, those are unlikely combinations. Let's find out more with Brian Bolan, who's our aggressive growth stock strategist. That is an unlikely combination.
It is. It's a little bit different from the normal. Normally, I like to try to keep things together, at least have a theme going.
Yeah, but you kind of got a wide variety here. So Omega Protein is the first stock you want to clue us in on. OME, the ticker. What do they make? Fish meal and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, exactly. And, they're going out with the boats, and they go out and they pick up the specialty fish that are out there, and they, bring them back to make the meal from. Exactly. That's. I knew I wasn't going to get that one by you.
It makes sense to me.
How they make the fish meal from fish.
Right.
But, they've also expanded and bought a fish farm up in Wisconsin as well. So trying to diversify a little bit. Had a little issue with a spill from a few years back. They just recently paid a fine. So they've gotten past some of that bad news. It's a Zacks rank #1, I believe. And we see earnings estimates increase. We've seen 2 beats very recently, and that followed 5 negative, earnings surprises. So when you have 5 misses and then suddenly 2 beats, it feels like they've kind of turned the ship around here. And especially when those beats are showing bigger sequential growth. So the first beat was 28% or 33%, and the second beat was 50%. If we look at the chart here, we can see the stock really tumbled just a couple weeks ago, falling from a little bit over 10 down to 9, so a 13% dip, and that was due to a short seller attack. So a hedge fund decided to write a negative article about the company that said that the whole basis for why their recent gains have been is because Peru hasn't been fishing for the same fish as much anymore, so they're more or less giving the market to OME. But OME is not the only player in this market, and that article has been pretty much later debunked, and you can see that the stock has moved up.
That's interesting.
Since the time.
That is interesting. All right, so nothing fishy about Omega. All right, Orbotech is the electronics company, ORBK, the ticker symbol there. What are they doing?
Right. When you say an electronics company, they do a lot of things inside of that, and the majority of the concept here is that they do testing. So they don't necessarily make the screens, the chips, or the components of your mobile devices, your phones, your tablets, or whatnot, but they will end up doing testing on those screens, chips, boards, any sort of circuitry or the parts of the device. So at some point, that any mobile device that you have, or nearly any device that you have, is going to go through their hands for testing to make sure that the products and stuff are reliable.
Okay, quality control.
Right, quality control.
All right.
It's a Zacks rank #1, so you know that its earnings estimates are moving higher. And we see a great looking chart here. And I think the big thing to think about with this company is that, obviously electronics are going to continue to be prevalent in society, so there's always going to be a need for testing.
Really? You think they're here to stay, huh?
I think they are.
Okay.
But, there was a very small reaction yesterday after there was on Wednesday, the 18th of June. That's what yesterday was, right?
Yeah, the 19th.
The 19th?
Yeah, but who's counting?
Yeah, right. Numbers. I'm never good with numbers. That's why
I see.
I do this. But they didn't really sell off yesterday when everyone else was selling off. So when you have a situation like that, that means that the people that hold the stock don't want to get rid of this one. They think that this one's a good one. This is one that they should keep. They should sell the other stocks, because you saw all those other stocks selling off 2, 3, or 4%, but this one was only off a few pennies. So I like to think that that's a good indication of the big holders, the big buyers and sellers of stocks don't want to let go of this one because they see growth down the road.
All right. And those electronics are here, you think?
Then I think so.
To stay for a while. All right.
For a little bit.
I'm going to take your word on that one. Do you own either of these two?
I do not.
All right. Check out other stock picks and stock picking strategies. Where? Zacks.com, especially if you're watching this video out in syndication land someplace. Get on over to the homepage, Zacks.com, and peruse the picks and strategies that we have for you in the stock area. Link to them right off the homepage. And check back often, because they change often. With Brian, I'm Terry Ruffalo.